Any questions so far? No? Ready to deploy? Okay. So, in the old days, 2 months ago, you had to use this fat client. WPF application, from functionality perspective, it was okay, but because it's WPF, it sucked. So there's a lot of things that you just expect to behave certain ways, and you just don't. You can't save your settings. If you try to sort something, or there's no user settings per se, so it's always the same. Anyway, gone. And when I say gone, I mean it is, as of update 2 of TFS 2015, they use the new web-based release management system. They still support the old one, so you can have the old one. It's going to be there, they say, for a long time, probably a few years. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't want to, switch to this one. The new.
When you upgrade,
Yeah.
it's not gonna take all your release manager releases and upgrade them into the new one. Just so you know, like it's like there's a slice, right? There's the old builds and the old release. They will still be supported. They're still there. That's good. But don't expect to have all your old releases migrated into the new thing that Max is going to show you.
So they're going to maintain. They're going to let you keep 2 of them. Let you run 2 of them concurrently if you want to, for as long as you want to. But they're not going to officially provide a migration path. How do you upgrade the old ones to the new ones? Having said that, there is a new extensions, and I will talk about the extensions later. There's an extension there that you can just, it's free, you download it, and it's gonna let you migrate those into the new system, okay? So let me show you the new system. There's a new hub called release. In this release, basically so instead of this, you have this. It's all web-based, it's all one view and one source of truth. Just like before, you click add, you can create a new release definition. They give you a couple of templates. Of course, it's first Azure based because now everything is Azure. Cloud first. You don't want it? That's fine. Empty. And what the hell? Anyway, so click OK. So when you create it, you get a name. So what do we have? Fabricam?
Fabricam.
Let's Fabricam, whatever, Fabricam. In this case, so that's the name of my definition. I also have the environment. Okay, I'm gonna go through this one by one. So in this case, I have an environment, I'm gonna call it dev. So that's my stage/environment. In the new terminology, the word environment and the word stage are basically interchangeable. You can also hear the word machine group, which is again the same thing. We have a stage. In this case, we have no tasks associated with this stage. I keep calling it stage, it's an environment. So when I click OK, when I click add tasks, I get to add tasks. I get to pick anything I want to. So in this case, I'm going to deploy, what are we deploying?
Your website?
The website, yeah.
Fabricam Fiber?
So what we're gonna do is, okay, let's just do this one. Do we? Okay.
You're not going to a remote machine though. Are you just going to copy the files?
You're right, yeah, let's
Yeah,
do
go to
it.
utilities and
Utility.
there's just should be a copy somewhere. Right at the top.
Copy, publish from builder.
No, copy files you want.
Copy files. See? Okay, so this list of tasks, this is out-of-the-box supported tasks, out-of-the-box provided tasks. If you don't see something on the list, there's 3 favorite tasks of mine that can do the work. First of all, Azure PowerShell if you're doing anything with Azure, batch scripts, command line if you want. I'm sorry, not 3. There's more. So there's if you don't see anything on the list and you want to do something, you want a deployment to do something for you, if you can put it in the script, if you can script that task, you can do that. You can automate it, right? And again, it's all getting stored. So source control and it's all traceable, blah, blah, blah. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're copying files, right?
Yeah, I think you picked up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll show you something later, but for now, all we're doing is copying files. I'm gonna go to source. Okay, I don't have anything yet, so I don't have a linked build definition to this release definition. So my deployment is not associated to any of the artifacts that they've built for me. I'm gonna click link build definition. It's gonna show me all the builds from build, TFS build, or from Jenkins. Why not? We're friends. Here's the build definition.
Now we are.
Someone I know said Microsoft now sleeps with everybody. So anyway, you can phrase it any way you want to. So we have this build definition, which is beautiful. I can deploy a site.
Oh yeah, that'll.
Anyway,
That always happens in there. You just have to hard code it in there.
so no Chrome. No Chrome.
I don't know. I didn't put Chrome on.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was me. So, sorry, different keyboard. So while it's installing,
No, you're not going to get out to the network. You're not getting Chrome.
oh,
Sorry.
it's used VM. That's right. So what do we need to do?
So you can just go to, just. Yeah, you can do it that way.
Oh, I can do
Yeah,
copy.
That'll work. Oh yeah, you're getting it that way because I didn't put it on this. Sorry, I know. So I'm messing with Max now. Well, I'm not really, but so remember I told you there's two options for creating artifacts. You can either put them in a file share, or you can put them at the server. So if you put them at the server, they show up in these fancy drop downs because they're sitting up at the server, which is where Max was expecting them. But I didn't put them there. Can you open the Windows Explorer a minute, Max?
Oh, of course.
And go to CFF drops. So right in here. And Franklin Fiber, and then the last one is 7. So there's where they're sitting. So it wants you to do a URI to that instead of going after the server. Sorry about that.
Okay. So, yeah, so this becomes you're going from the Internet Explorer to the File Explorer, and
Yeah.
the IE freaks out a little bit. It's okay.
You need it all though, don't you?
Yeah, I think. So I'm just gonna say.
You should be able to just cancel it.
Do I have to do this?
Maybe not. You might be able to do this. Maybe not. There we go.
Alright, sorry. It's a different keyboard. Okay, so we're specifying a path. If it's a if we're storing the artifact inside the TFS itself, it's easier if you are using the file share. You can do it this way. There is this contents that you specify. This means I'm going to want to get everything from that folder. There's a whole bunch of logic operators, not logic operators. There's a syntax that you can use to exclude certain files, certain folders, or you want to only pick up zip files. Look it up. Anyway, so you can, even if you build the artifact, you can still pick and choose from that artifact. And here's my target folder, and where are we putting it? So here, in this case, we have three environments, like Dave said before. We have dev, UAT, and prod. All it is, we're faking it, essentially. Okay? So I'm just going to pick this back. Again, for simplicity, this is what I'm doing. We can deploy to remote machines using different agents. In this case, it's all the same. We can deploy using the remote machines to another machine because it's remote PowerShell. You can basically get as creative as you want to. So in this case, we're deploying from this drop to the target location.
You need to put one more folder though on your source folder because you're just going after the build number. You need the artifact too.
Am I? Do I have to?
You're gonna have to go.
No, I'm getting this whole thing.
No, you're not. You're only getting up to the 146.7. You went to there.
But that's what I had. Oh no, you're right. Sorry. Thank you.
So, the other thing you'll want to do is take it, go back up, because we don't want that build number, or else you're only going to ever deploy that build. So you want to change it to the variable, the build number variable, right?
Which one?
Go back. No, right where you are. I know, it's nice having a field this big for a string this big, right?
Yeah. So what do you?
So scroll over from, so there's your server, the drop folder.
Yeah.
Fabricam Fiber Web is the build definition, but then the
yeah,
build number is
right
right
there,
there.
the build number.
So you know, we'll replace the build number with the already build with
See, small.
yeah,
So what is it?
build dot number. I think it is. We can always go look it up in a minute. Yeah, it's over on the build.
Build dot number.
No, I think he's right. I think it's just build number.
Build number.
I think Max has it right.
Wait, we can look it up.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we'll look
if
it.
someone can look it up,
If it doesn't work,
great.
we'll find it. That's why
But
there's two of us.
okay, so we can add more tasks in here. Test tasks. I don't know, any preparation tasks, any kind of tasks you want. Okay, the sky's the limit essentially. Packaging tasks. I don't know. You come up with something. You can also, by the way, for example, deploy to a website at the same time. You can deploy to App Store or anywhere else. Azure, and so on and so forth. So in this case, we're one task. Okay, so this is my dev. This is what's going to do. It's going to go ahead and deploy to my dev environment. I can add more tasks, as I said before. I can disable certain tasks if I want to. Each environment also has a bunch of configurations. So I can assign approvers for this dev. So in this case, it's going to automatically deploy to dev because it's dev. And post-deployment also I don't care, just go ahead and approve it. I can set up which queue it wants to use. Yes, sir. By the way, you don't have to raise your hand, just ask.
Could just yell at you.
I'm less official than Dave.
The other one had an option for parallel tasks versus sequential.
Would you like to basically parallelly, okay. Not that I know of.
Yeah,
Actually,
I've never seen that.
so you mean like in the old one, you can do parallel.
Yeah, like I have it going to two.
Deploy to two servers at the same time, for example. Yeah.
I'm not sure. So back to approvals. Again, you can set up approvers. You can send emails to people. You can use creating the release. Should not have. So this checkbox: whoever created the release cannot approve the release. No cheating.
Even if they're in the group.
Yep. Queues again in TFS. TFS in older TFS used to have build agent, test agent, lab agent, deployment agent, and so on and so forth. There's one agent. That's it. There's that one Node.js agent that's just copying files and running PowerShell. That's it. There's a small exception of they're still trying to bring testing on board. So that's currently in transition. So if you're trying to do interactive tests, you still have to use the old TF test controllers, which you still can. So there's that queue. By the way, I just want to show you. So there's the pool. Pool is a collection of agents, collections of machines, right? One machine can belong to multiple pools if you want to. Why not? Queues is like a filter on top of the pool. You're saying I have a machine group ABC. I'm going to create a pool for .NET developers, pool for Java developers, and you know what? Java developers are more important because right now we're working on an important project. I'm going to give them higher priority. They're going to get more permissions. They're going to get better resources. Right? I can also protect that queue, saying only Java developers can use that queue. Nobody else can. Okay? Again, permissions. Different roles, capabilities. Remember those? So this comes from the environmental variables on the machine. I think it gets repopulated when you restart that service. So it reads that and populates it. If you want to add more, you can just say Java. Did you have a really, really small keyboard? Yes. Why not? Okay, and in here, so we have this build definition. Again, this is how we can say Java. I keep hitting caps lock, so anyway. So that's what we can use. We can also set up variables. Remember, Dave used to have the variables from the build. We have variables from on the build definition, on the release definition, and if memory serves me right, they can flow back and forth. Okay, and the good thing about having so just before I get to this, you also have variables for the release definition. Where the hell is it? Click a lot. Anyway, so you can also have variables per environment. So, for example, on the fly, you would like to go ahead and update your web configs. Set up passwords, set up connection strings, whatever. And you don't have to worry about it. So you will use the variables, which you can modify on the fly. Here's the environment owners. If you want to send them an email when something gets kicked off, only on failure, never emails. Skip the download, so it's just going to keep getting the same one. And the timeout. How long do you want for the deployment job to wait before it's going to think that failed? Okay. Deployment conditions, all kinds of fancy stuff. During the anyway, you can. I don't want to read them. You can take a look at them. Doesn't really matter. So I can also I can go ahead and say, you know what, clone this one, and this is going to be my QA. Is it QA or UAT? UAT, right? And in here, the only thing that I will have to change is, I think it's this. So it's going to go to my UAT. If, for example, I also wanted to deploy a database, I can also add a task. I'm not sure if there's something about SSD task there, so I can also deploy a database at the same time, or beforehand. In this case, the database is part of the code, so I don't have to. And now all I have to do is add one more. Clone. Prod. And in this case, I just have to put it under one more path. So we now have a release pipeline. What am I missing? I think I'm missing, let's just say approvers. Because in some cases, UAT has to go for certain approvals before it's even been deployed to. So I can say specific users have to, do I know any users?
Yeah, well, do you want to?
Anybody.
Why don't you just make it Brian Keller, and then it'll be you. Then you don't have to log out.
Sure. I'm not actually going to approve, I'm just going to fill it. So, here you go. So I can set up approvals, multiple approvers, I can set up groups if I want to, and so on and so forth. And post-deployment, so once it's been approved, see those options? I can say any of those users can approve it. They have to approve in the following order. So manager 1 has to approve it before manager 2 gets approved, gets a turn, and so on and so forth. So it will make people to feel important.
So for those that are used to using Release Manager now, you have 4 steps, right? You have acceptance, and then the deployment happens, and then it gets validated, and then you approve it for the next stage. So they've kind of abandoned that concept for this. There's a pre-deployment and post-deployment. So the idea is somebody can, if you set it to automated, it'll just go into dev automatically. Then the idea would be that somebody would come along and approve it or on post-deployment to go to the next environment, and then so on and so forth in each one.
So you get options now. It's a lot more flexible. Again, you can put it in a different queue, set up different variables, set up different instructions per stage environment. So this one, again, different approvals. This time, I'm actually going to put Brian Perry. And click OK. I have a release pipeline. Before we kick off, just want to show you a few options. So here's my connection to the artifact that I'm using in this build. Configuration, variables. So this is the release definition. So this is like system variables for this release definition. And then I have environment specific variables. And I can use my system variables inside the environment variables if I want to. Again, there's a lot of flexibility there. Various triggers, I get to do manual, no triggers, continuous deployment. So basically, as soon as I build something, as soon as Dave's build is successful, I would like to go ahead and deploy it. It's going to go ahead and trigger the deployment. It's going to go ahead and deploy to the development automatically because I don't have a trigger, I don't have a gate there, but it will wait for Brian's approval before it deploys to QA or UAT. Okay? So you can mix and match. Or schedule basis. You know what? Just build it on a regular basis. Why not? And you get to pick. You can set up custom ones. Deployment conditions. You get to play with. Anyway, general settings. Here's my number. What is it? Naming convention.
Yeah. Your release name from it. So I put my build number in there.
Yeah.
If it was me, I'd put the build variable so I know what build number was being released.
Huh. So we can, I'm not sure we can do this. Can we do like that minor, major?
Yeah, just put build number. Dollar bracket build number. It'll be carried over.
Oh, that's right there.
Yeah, I
That's
think
how
so.
we did it. So, yeah. And retention policy is going to keep it for a number of days you want to retain the data in the logs. So in this case, it's 60 days. Just like before, by the way, as soon as you deploy a build in TFS using the release management automatically marks that build as retained indefinitely. So whatever the build definition, retention policy will not apply anymore because that build was marked as retained indefinitely. You can still take it off and delete it, but that implies that you're actually doing that intentionally. Okay? There's also version history. Just like before. The one thing that's missing, and I find that annoying, no comments. You're gonna put comments for some reason. I don't know why they didn't do it, but whatever.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so we can go ahead and trigger release. We can also set up a security. I can say that this release definition can be triggered by not everybody, by specific people because, you know what? It's sensitive. Or, I don't know. They have business requirements that make us so. Alright, so we're going to say contributors. Yeah, sure. that kind of stuff. Okay, so you can set up security. You can protect the build definitions like before. You can protect the release definitions like before. Yeah, before you could do that too. The one thing that's missing, and people weren't really supposed to use it from the in the old release management, is manual intervention. So if you ever use the manual intervention, it's not there anymore. Having said that, you can easily create one. Right? It's really not that complicated. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and release. Create draft, it just creates a draft and then I can modify the settings on the fly without actually modifying the release definition. Create release, pick the build number, 7, put some covered comments in there. Yeah, why not? And that's fine. So we're gonna go to dev, UNT, and prop. Kicks off, gives me this link. I can go ahead and look at the summary, the current configuration, what exactly is happening, what work items are associated with this. Here's that Dave's associated work items, which commits ended up in this, what change actually happened, and tests obviously, and I can look at the live logs. Oh, I'm sorry, I clicked on that and Anyway, so go back, so it's currently running. Is it actually running? Or did I forget to do something? Deployment has not been triggered to, oh, that's right, because I picked the condition, so now I have to actually do this. So there's different conditions you can kind of protect yourself from being stupid or doing stupid things. You can set up more gateway. So this is actually will deploy, right? It will tell me, give me a summary, all the work items associated with it, all the change sets, all the people that are involved, and I can just hit deploy.
It doesn't like our build number variable.
It doesn't like what?
Our build number variable. It's okay.
No?
See up top?
Where do you see it?
Right at the top. Release dash, there,
Oh,
build
it's
number.
good. Okay.
I'm gonna guess that's why it failed, because we use that same variable to look for the code.
Yeah. Did anyone look it up?
Go over to the build and just pop over to build and we'll take a look. It might be
Using
build.number.
brackets or braces?
It's
It's
brackets.
brackets, it's just the dot.
it's
I think he's just
brackets.
missing a dot.
I think it's the dot, yeah, build.number. You wanna look before you try?
Are you online?
I think it's
There
just
we
saying,
go.
like,
You just go look at the build. It's in the build, I'm using it. Go to build. Then go to repository. Well,
This
edit-
one?
Edit, repository. Oh,
Not repository.
Oh, I didn't-
The name.
I turned it off, I guess, did I? Never mind, I turned it off. I was using it, but then I didn't save that one. Sorry, I brought you here for nothing.
No problem. Where am I at? TFS build system variables. There you go. So there's a list. There's a huge list.
There's tons of stuff.
So build that build number.
Of course.
Why make it easy? Oh, because there's a lot more now of those, so they have to come up with some kind of hierarchy. Okay. Am I full screen? No?
No.
Okay. Am I full screen now? So I'm gonna quickly go back to my well, let's just assume it was part of a tenant. Edit and copy files, and it's just going to take it from there. Build. So we were both right. It's build.build.
Yeah. We should listen to both of us when we talk.
Yeah, that never happens.
Yep.
All right. So we have this. Let's save it.
We've changed it on general too.
On yeah, thank you. And let's save it again. If I look at the history, all that history, I can actually trace it back. If I had comments, it would have been a lot cleaner, but whatever. So create, pick the build definition. Let's try again. Description so people know what that is. Create. And in this case, just like before, I set up. Yay! See, that was, should have been the first clue.
Yeah. Well, it was a clue, but
We didn't pay attention. So, kicked off, it's running. Again, full summary, logs. Actually, was showing me the logs. And actually click. Yay!
let's go.
So the refresh was deployed faster than the refresh, right? So, whatever. So again, the live logs, I can look at everything that's going on, just like before. I can look at all the environmental variables, what it takes, what it downloaded, how did it copy, what did it copy, why did it copy. If I had any other tasks, all of those will be separate. Post-deployment approvals, I have nothing. Right now, guess what? We're waiting for approval, right? So right now, it is waiting.
Should we test it? See if it's there?
You're gonna make me test it. So our Dev.
Right to the bottom. Are we in dev?
I don't think so.
Oh, well.
Anyway, we'll get back to that in a second.
Okay.
So in here, maybe I'm, let's see, maybe I'm gonna copy the files for a little bit. Task. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh,
It checks, if I'll read through the logs, it says I'm trying to overwrite the file that already exists. Moving on, moving on, moving on. That's why it was fast. Okay, but the live logs or extensive logs really help. So we're gonna just change it. Oops, not this one, this one. And this one.
we got one.
Okay, save again. One more time. Third time. Hopefully. Gonna go ahead and deploy. Create. You don't have to, I do intentionally set up that extra check. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Yeah. While it's running, I'm looking to refresh. And it failed. Yay.
That's all right.
Why did,
Don't worry. You only got 5 minutes anyway. You want to talk about extensions and
yes. Anyway, if it works,
I think everybody in the room knows how to copy over our website.
you just like
What?
diminish them of what nothing basically. Sure.
They can't do it automatically from a build.
It was a secret that most of the deployments are just executed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is cool, right? The release management is pretty good. It's very flexible. It's like Octopus Deploy, basically what Octopus Deploy has right now, what a lot of those tools have right now, right? But it gives you one view, and because it's a part of a single system, you get you get from the deployment, you can see what bugs were solved, which feature were deployed, which code, which changes ended up in there, which tests failed, which tests succeeded, and you can do whole sessions just on tests. Because it's really, really cool. They essentially will putting everything that you have in the test manager for most of those features inside this hub. So you can do a lot. Anyway, but the coolest feature of TFS 2015 update 2, and the reason why I'm saying that this is the coolest feature is because this is what makes DevOps possible in TFS. And let me show you what that is. This is all great, but it's it's nice. I'm talking about extensions. So if you use Visual Studio Team Services or Visual Studio Online, the online version of TFS, they had that for a while. And basically what it means is you can add extensions to your TFS in the cloud or on premises, which will extend the functionality, add certain functionality, right? So if I click on this and browse the extensions, well, why am I not online?
Because it's not online. Don't put it online.
Anyway,
My machine.
okay,
Just minimize it. You can jump. I think I have it open. Or I did have it open. First. Oh, there you go.
so just like in Visual Studio Online, you get this. This is extension that you can install. This huge list, right? My simplest one and one of my favorite ones is, where are you? Calendar.
Actually, I've already got that on mine.
You do? So
Yep.
Team Calendar. I can just add that to mine.
If you go back to mine, it'll be there.
So, okay, but before we get there, so to install it to the STS, I click this button, to install it to on-premises, I click download. So it's going to download the DSIX file, and then inside the cloud, the on-premises version, I'm just going to go ahead and say manage extensions, and this is going to be a button upload, right? Yeah, upload. So I'm just going to browse to that file, and now that extension is available for me. It hasn't been installed yet, it's just available. So now later on I can say install, and I can pick a project collection I would like to install it to. In VSTS there's only one project collection, on-premise you have as many as you want. Why would you? But that's a different conversation. All right? And those extensions, I can add any, so in this case, Dave has said he already has it. This one?
Yep.
It's simple things. It's those stupid simple things that are important and that makes all the difference. Okay? By opening that up to a general community, Microsoft didn't have to do that themselves and let people decide what extensions they want. So remember those huge lists of tasks that you had that you can build or deploy, use during the build or deploy, there's a lot more of those. There is tons of them. So basically anything you want is in there. You can add code search, branch delete. You can add all, not just to build and deploy, but the TFS itself. Right? You can add welcome emails. This is what makes TeamCity cool, in my opinion, because there's so many of those little things that are important to somebody and will make all the difference. I don't know why, but now that you have that functionality in TFS, and it's very easy to add. They have that template that you create and you just upload it. Gosh. Eventually, I think what they're going to do is they're going to let people make money off it. Why not? Right now, it's all free. And my guess is that most of it is going to stay free. But there's a timekeeper, there's a time tracker, Hockey app, the Octopus deploy, Slack integration, right? So if you want to integrate with Slack, it's a click of a button. There's all kinds. The list is huge. It's getting bigger by I think on the first day they had like 20. Now it's hundreds, and you get to pick. Like work on a visualization.
You got 1 minute for
what?
last. Lori's going to cut you off.
Lori's
I know her. She'll do it.
Anyway, so that thing, like little
Maybe
things,
once-
makes all the
once
difference. Again, you
finish.
can add all kinds of tasks, breadth gate, anything you want. There's a whole bunch of things in there that you can add, right? On that topic, it doesn't stop there. The extensibility, you can also hook it up to other systems. And sorry, no, I'm just going to use the on-premises version. So in here, when I go and look at and I'm on premises right now. So here's all of my extensions that I can use. And I don't have any right now. I can request an extension too, but whatever. So on the project, I can also create the service hooks. Service hooks, once it loads, allows me to connect to any of those tools very easily. If you click, there's also generic one, which basically allows you to connect to most of them. That's not currently on the list. There is also services. The endpoint, so if I want to connect to GitHub, this is how I do it. If I want to connect to Azure, this is how I do it. External Git, Azure Resource Manager, Chef, this is how I do it. And from that point on, they're going to start talking to one another. So if I have GitHub, all I have to do is just say, yeah. So if I connect it to my GitHub in my release definition, I can pick items, pick the source code from the GitHub versus picking out from the internal repository. Right? Very cool. And by the way, did you know that in TFS 2015 update 2, in one project you can have TFVC source control and GitHub or Git at the same time? Makes it not you don't have to pick anymore, so no longer you ever. That was one of the last reasons you ever had to have multiple projects.
Yeah.
Now even that's gone. All right. The point is, you can hook it up You can extend it. There's a lot of extension. You can hook it up to a lot of major providers out there. You can make it flexible and bend it as much as you want. You can also, make it more DevOpsy or more IT, you can hook up TFS just like before. You can hook it up to the system center. You can hook it up to the ops, what's it called? Operations manager? Yeah, operations manager. So from the operations manager, very easily, you can say, I deployed to this website, but operations manager is monitoring it, and if it finds the bug, finds any kind of exceptions, I can automatically, it's gonna raise it to the people who are responsible for the ops, and they're gonna, with a click of a button, they can move that into the TFS as a bug for full logs, full dumps, and even IntelliTrace if you want to. Well, some of it, right? And so it's gonna create the bug. TFS people will accept it. They're gonna go ahead and say, we're gonna fix it. They fix it. They close it. Ops people get notified. It's fine. Close the loop. And that's helpful because you no longer have to wait for user to report the problem. First of all, the users see the problem. It's already bad. It's not good. Second of all, the chances are that people are actually gonna report the problem to you are fairly low. And even if they will, there's gonna be a lot of back and forth because you need to collect all that data. You don't have to do that anymore. It's just there. There's a lot of hooks to already existing products in Microsoft, very easy. So in my opinion, that completes the DevOps picture. Brian something, the guy, the TFS guy at Microsoft, he did a demo and he was like very, very passionate about it. And what he said, what stuck with me is that Microsoft is the only company that has that can help you, that has a product representation from end to end. So in every area that you're working with, they have a product in there. Whether that's good or bad, okay, that's a different conversation, but at least it's there and it's working and they talk to one another, right? Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
What? If you have any questions, what?
Ask. I'm sorry.
Keep it to yourself, because we got cards to.